You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
At St. Jude, our family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View.
All right, how y'all doing out there tonight? Yes, it's Jessie. Yes, you know, I miss you when we're not talking. What, you don't buy that by now? Excuse me, you should have learned better by now. Come on. I'm not buying that you don't believe me. All right. There's a lot going on in this world. Now, I could do a whole nother episode on North Korea. And I do still have that cute North Korea story for her that I ran out of time for last night. But I got a pretty healthy stack of show prep tonight. And I'm going to do my darndest to work through all of it. Now, just as a reminder, you can follow me on Twitter at Jessie's POV. And yes, I do keep an eye on my Twitter notifications while I'm on the air. Or you want to interact with me real time? I'm in the chat room at klrnradio.com/chat. Yes, you can join me there. Who knows, maybe I'll tell you something I didn't want to say on air. And I've got a few friends in there tonight. Lunatic Rex and Ragnar. Rick. Yes, Rowdy Ricky Robinson's hanging out in the chat room, probably doing his own show prep, because he's got America Off the Rails at 11 o'clock tonight. But there's Stafford Voice hot on my heels. And if you missed any of the earlier shows, don't you worry about it. You can run on over to KLRNradio.com and look up what shows you missed, and guess what? They're there. Yes, you can listen to them at your convenience, and most of our shows are also available on iTunes, Google Play, and many other podcast locations, and some of us are even on iHeartRadio. I haven't made it with Jessie's POV on iHeartRadio yet, but Jessie's Coffee Shop did, so we'll see if POV can't follow suit shortly. Oh, yes. Now, as I always like to warn you guys, no, there is no taps tonight. Thankfully. And for those of you who are new listeners to my show, every time there is a fallen member of the United States Armed Forces identified by the Department of Defense, yes, I do wait for the official identification, because that means next of kin has been notified. And I will not be the one that accidentally lets a family know because somebody leaked the information that their loved one is not coming home. I'm sorry, I've walked through that fire. I ain't bringing the news to another person. It should be done by the official notifications team. Plain and simple. So I always wait till the official press release is out. But I do have a couple of notes from the DoD that I will be bringing to you tonight. All right. Let's see. I said, are we looking forward or backward? Well, depends on your point of view, I suppose. Would a military conflict on the Korean Peninsula actually be advisable? Well, Donald Trump thinks it is. Now, I'm not going to go discussing Donald Trump and politics. If you've listened to this show long enough, you are familiar with that concept. All right? All right. However, what I am going to tell you is that it is one possible solution. And for you regular listeners of the show, you've heard this well-worn audio clip before, but for those of you new to the show, I am going to play one of my favorites from none other than Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff about war on the Korean Peninsula, and I'm actually going to play both of them. And you regular listeners, you know, but trust me, they bear repeating from time to time.
I think for all of us, we should give Secretary Tillerson full support in attempting to resolve this diplomatically and economically, even as we recognize that it may not happen. And there may have to be a follow-up option, which is the military option. But we can wring our hands and say it'll never happen, or we can roll up our sleeves and make an effort to have a concerted economic and diplomatic plan that does cause KJU, Kim Jong-un, to come to the table and begin to have a conversation, at least stop the path that he's on right now, which is further development of intercontinental ballistic missiles and nuclear capability. And to me, it makes all the sense in the world to prove the theory of the case and to work this for a few more months.
Now, yes, you heard correctly. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Dunford, said work this for a few more months. What? That's a little scary when you think that the chairman put a timeline on it, and that clip is between 4 and 6 weeks old, because I got it in between the two ICBM launches. Oh yeah. That clip's gotten a little long in the tooth. Now I know it's favorite and I keep pulling it up. But I got one more. And I think this one bears repeating too. This one's from the same time frame, folks, and it is also General Dunford, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Many people, and this is an important point, many people have talked about military options as with words like unimaginable. And I would probably shift that slightly and say it would be horrific. And there would be a loss of life unlike any we have experienced in our lifetimes. And I mean, anyone who's been alive since World War II has never seen the loss of life that could occur if there's a conflict on the Korean Peninsula. But as I've told my counterparts, both friend and foe, it is not unimaginable to have military options to respond to North Korean nuclear capability. What's unimaginable to me is allowing a capability that will allow a nuclear weapon to land in Denver, Colorado. That's unimaginable to me.
All right. Thank you, General Dunford. And yes, I don't want to see a nuclear weapon land in Denver any more than I think any of you do. However, I don't know that I want to see Korea reduced to rubble. Because many of you may or may not be aware of this, but I am going to remind you, as I often do. Guys, I wish you would play catch up so I don't have to feel like I'm constantly repeating myself, but I'm going to say it because I know not all of you tune in all of the time. North Korea has a host of conventional artillery. Yes, conventional artillery. and it is just outside the DMZ, or the Demilitarized Zone. Yes, the border between North and South Korea, and it is all aimed at Seoul. Now, why is that important? This isn't the big missiles that we have fancy air defense systems that can take the stuff out. This is old school, in some cases, World War II artillery, era artillery. There's no hiding from it. No getting around it. Well, at least not with the systems that we have in place on the peninsula. What brings further intrigue to this is, now, how many of you can tell me who North Korea's trading partners are? How many? Well, if you said Iran, Russia, and China, ding, 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 you're a winner. Remember, I have proven the theory of the case that North Korea is a weapons proliferator. I have proven that they are trading technology with Iran. Which means, within a short time frame of North Korea getting a working ICBM, Iran, if they haven't already written that check to fund the North Korean development, because they can't do it because they're being too closely watched because of the Iran nuclear deal, although I wish they were still under sanctions, because I can tell you they're evading those sanctions, my friends. And if you didn't hear my show last night about the weapons factories that they're building in Syria and Lebanon, oh yeah, you didn't hear about that? Then I suggest you go find me on iTunes or Google Play or over on KLRNRadio.com on my show page. And guess what? All the episodes are there. And there is, so I was saying the trading partners are North Korea and Iran. So once North Korea gets that technology, if Iran isn't funding it, thank you Obama for the plane load of hard currency you flew into Iran. And I am actually working on connecting those dots, because I found diplomatic exchanges between North Korea and Iran about 60 to 90 days out from that plane load of cash landed in Tehran. And I can guarantee you they weren't exchanging recipes for a cookbook. Nope, that idea, well, blown out of the water, my friends. So, what were they most likely doing? Given that one of them was a scientific and cultural exchange, I'm willing to bet the cultural was the sightseeing on the way to the science lab. I'm willing to bet they were swapping technology and recipes for nuclear warheads. Because North Korea's development of this technology jumped by leaps and bounds. And I'm not going to reiterate everything I've ever said on North Korea here tonight. But there was a very interesting meeting of the UN Security Council last night. Probably the shortest one I've ever seen. Don't know if it's the shortest one on record. But the whole thing was 15 minutes long. Yeah, a bunch of diplomats and politicians got together and said their piece in 15 minutes. I'm going to bet that's worthy of noting something in somebody's book. Now, I went through all their statements. Hey, I watched the whole thing. I don't always do that. But this one was only 15 minutes, so I more than happily did. And I got a couple statements from Russia that I thought you'd find interesting, because I've played the China one a few times here. So here is what Russia had to say, and I've got two clips from them. In the face of North Korea launching a missile, not just in the direction of Japan, But this violated sovereign Japanese airspace and sovereign Japanese territory, and I can't stress enough that this could have been declared an act of war. Now, let's take a listen to what Russia had to say.
There can be no military solution to the issues plaguing the Korean Peninsula. We believe that all further Security Council resolutions on the DPRK must explicitly underscore that fact. We must also preclude additional unilateral sanctions on top of those being imposed by the Council itself. In order to normalize the situation in the Korean Peninsula, there is a need for an approach with both an end to the DPRK's missile tests and an abandonment of military infrastructure buildup, including the THAAD system. The exercises being conducted must be scaled down. There is an urgent need to create an atmosphere of trust amongst states in the region, and in principle to create an architecture of security in Northeast Asia. The roadmap for settling the host of issues plaguing the Korean Peninsula can be constituted by the joint Russian and Chinese ideas. They were advanced in various formats, including the joint Russo-Chinese statement dating 4 July.
Now, I know I've discussed that joint Russo-Chinese statement from July, but basically it says that we have to stop doing exercises with South Korea and pull out that and more or less stop protecting South Korea. Hey guys, I'm not quackers. There is only one quackers in this show, and that is Kim Jong-un or KJU. Now, that wasn't quite all the Russians had to say. Here's the other part of that clip.
We object to the DPRK's missile launches. However, as we repeatedly noted, addressing the issues plaguing the peninsula through sanctions and pressure alone is impossible. This path will not enable us to achieve the sought-after result, insofar as that path does not propose any options for engaging the DPRK in constructive negotiations.
How do you negotiate with someone who does not want to talk? Can any of you answer that lovely question? Can you? 'Cause I can tell you, I can't. How do you negotiate when the other party has proven itself to be an unreliable state actor? How can you negotiate with someone who has violated sanctions at every turn? How do you negotiate with someone who doesn't want to talk? I can't tell you. I can't tell you how you force someone to come to the negotiating table and then live up to the word that you forced them into. And, well, you don't have to take my word on it. This was, I believe, from a congressional committee hearing.
Between 1994 and 2008, North Korea did 16 ballistic missile tests and 1 nuclear test. Since January of 2009, they have done 71 missile tests, including 4 nuclear tests. The leader in North Korea has made no effort to have dialogue with any other country in the region, not just the United States, but that includes China, South Korea, Russia. Absolutely no interest in talking.
So if they won't talk to China or Russia about giving up their nuclear program, somebody thinks they're actually gonna talk to us? They're right up there with quackers. And
that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
If they won't talk to their allies and their neighbors, they sure won't talk to us. Now, I promise you, we are stepping off the North Korean freight train, which you know I can go on all night about. And we are moving on to the Middle East. At the bottom of the hour. Yeah, you gotta let me get my North Korean wind out of my sails. Because if I don't, I'll keep dragging the Middle East back to North Korea. But that's not hard when you've got Bashar al-Assad in Syria, who is propped up by Russia and Iran. And Iran is over in Syria and Lebanon building weapons factories. And by the way, Iran supports the Houthi rebels in Yemen. And I believe they're building factories over there too. And then you've got North Korea and Iran buddy-buddy and Russia trading with them. And China's the big brother overseeing it all. Oh yes, that is your roadmap. And it is interesting how all these dots seem to connect. Oh yes, it is quite fascinating. Now, I am coming up on a commercial break, and I'm going to take it just a couple minutes early. Well, all right. I promised you the cute North Korea story, and since I'm trying to get off North Korea for the rest of the show, I'll tell you what it is now. And this one, like I said, it is a cute North Korean story. What's cute about North Korea? Well, I'm sure this one has a cute factor in it. Kim Jong-un and more accurately, his wife, has had their third child. Now, we don't know the name of this child or the gender of this child, but we do know that Kim Jong-un has had his third child. And I'm betting that kid is cute as a button and innocent as all get out. Unfortunately, he's got quite the duck for a father. All right, folks, we are going to take that commercial break and pay those radio station bills, and I will see you on the other side.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your healthcare? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Down if you wanna, you can run away if you wanna, you can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna, you can play dead if you wanna, forget what they said if you wanna, turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna.
Alright, thank y'all for hanging in there with me over that commercial break. Now, somebody in the chat room just asked me about a co-host. Well, I don't have a steady co-host per se. I got a recurring guest, Justin Kinney, and he is my psychology and terrorism expert. In fact, he's cooking up something about how the United States got the foreign policy, set of foreign policy rules it has today. That ought to be fascinating. I mean, we've discussed how the Middle East got its borders, the four waves of terrorism, and just what is terrorism, and the fact that terrorism wasn't always religious, among many other topics. What, you didn't know we'd covered all that? Have you been hiding under a rock? No, you just haven't been listening. Now, I don't know when Justin and I are going to get a chance to record that show because, well, we're both running around like we got our hair on fire. But we will put it together and we will bring it to you. And I know you're going to love it. Now, to get off the subject of North Korea and on to some of the more intriguing things from around the world that you will not hear the mainstream, most likely not hear the mainstream media mentioning. They may give it 2 seconds, but I got a little bit more on in most of it. All right, we're going to talk Dash. And for those of you new to the show, Dash is the same as ISIS. And ISIS, ISIL, Daesh, they are all the same thing. Now, Daesh has made a deal with Hezbollah. Do you know who funds Hezbollah? We covered it last night. Well, that would be Iran. Daesh made a deal with Hezbollah to get bussed out of Syria. What? That says they're definitely not winning the battle. But I can't say I want to see them bust out because I don't want a whole herd of warfighters that have been trained in the worst ways of the world going back to their home countries. I don't want them going home unless their bodies get shipped home. But quite frankly, they deserve to fall where they fight. They have done nothing but be the true exacerbation of evil. Yes, the true definition of evil. They have done some of the most horrific things. Now, I'm not going to run down a comprehensive list or I'd be here for the rest of the show, but I will name just a few things. They have set people on fire while they're alive. They have drowned people to death. Never mind the countless beheadings. They have stoned people to death. They have tortured women, abused women. I mean, really? Do I need to go on? I think that's enough chaos on that. Now, just in case you're wondering if Iran's a good guy, I've got a clip here from Secretary Mattis, a little bit old, but it still bears repeating.
In addition to our campaign to defeat ISIS, we also recognize the need to confront the destabilizing activities of Iran. Iran continues to threaten Israel and its neighbors with ballistic missiles through its maritime and cyber activities and through proxies and surrogates, including Lebanese Hezbollah, a terrorist organization helping to keep Assad in power in Syria.
All right, I think that said it all right there. Iran is another one of those not-so-reliable actors on the world stage, and of course they claim they're living up to the Iran nuclear deal. Well, for those of you new to the show, that is what I think of the Iran nuclear deal. Not worth the paper it is printed on. It is nothing but a game of smoke and mirrors. And trust me when I say smoke and mirrors. Because, well, they have now taken to shipping stuff overseas. And you didn't have to take my word for it. Now, Colonel Ryan Dillon, spokesman for The U.S. alliance said, "We are monitoring the location in real time." He said the coalition will not rule out strikes against Daesh fighters being moved. The coalition has already bombed a small bridge to obstruct the convoy. So yes, Daesh is still dealing with oh yeah, you guys go. Kick tail and never mind taking names. And of course, the United States is not party to any agreement that was made by Hezbollah and Daesh or the Syrian regime. So, I think we're going to move right along. Now, of course, with all these missiles and rockets flying around, we did do a successful missile intercept test in Hawaii. The USS John Paul Jones detected and tracked the missile, which had been launched from the Pacific Missile Range facility on Kauai, before firing an SM-6 guided missile to intercept it. The test, of course, came 2 days after North Korea fired an intermediate-range ballistic missile over Japan, but we are not going to get into those weeds again, and I promised you that. But the test near Hawaii did mark the second time that an SM-6 missile intercepted a medium-range ballistic missile. And Missile Defense Agency Director Lieutenant General Sam Greaves said that the missile defense test was a key milestone for the military's Aegis ballistic missile defense system because it gives the naval component of the system an enhanced ability to intercept missiles in their terminal phase. All right, so way to go, Navy. Oh, yes, the Navy scored. All right, we are almost done. And yes, I know that Stafford is creeping up on me because, well, I do not have that much more time. But got a couple more things I got to say while I still got some time. There is something coming up, and it is right around the corner, and I'll bet it's not on your calendar. Well, it's on mine, but that's because I follow unique and interesting things. But there's 1.7 million Muslims gathered for one event. Now, what could possibly bring together 1.7 million Muslims from all over the world? Well, it's called the Hajj. Now, first of all, I am anti-terrorist. I am anti-extremist anything. You can have any religious views you want. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Quaker, Catholic, Flying Church of the Spaghetti Monster, as long as your religion isn't telling you to try and kill me for mine. So, let me tell you a little bit about the Hajj, because I do have Muslim friends, and they are peaceful, and yes, they know I'm Jewish, and no, I've never hidden that fact from you folks. They are aware that I'm Jewish, and well, you know what? We always joke about when the fact that we're together, it's a guaranteed pork-free environment. So, Saudi Arabia is the home of the Hajj. Now, there was a tragic stampede near Mecca a couple years back. So, Saudi Arabia has put in lots more money for security. And they hope that everything will remain peaceful. Now, the Hajj is required of all Muslims once in a lifetime. It is a physically demanding journey that tests pilgrims' patience as they withstand long waits and thick crowds on their path to achieving spiritual purification and repentance. And, alright, there's both men and women on there, but they are segregated. It is a 5-day-long pilgrimage. And men wear terry cloth seamless white gowns that are meant to represent unity among Muslims and equality before God. Women wear loose clothing, cover their hair, and forego makeup and nail polish to achieve a state of humility and spiritual purity. After prayers in Mecca, the pilgrims will head to an area called Mount Arafat on Thursday, where the Prophet Muhammad delivered his final sermon. From there, the pilgrims will head to an area called Muzdalifa, picking up pebbles along the way for symbolic stoning of the devil and a casting away of sins that takes place in the Mina Valley for 3 days. Now, the 2015 incident that killed more than 2,400 people is one of those regrettable incidents. And Saudi Arabia has spent not thousands, but billions of dollars to improve the safety of the pilgrimage. Because the deadliest incidents have occurred in Mina. There has been a stampede and a collision of two crowds that crushed people. Saudi Interior Ministry spokesman Major General Mansour al-Takori told reporters that more than 100,000 strong security force is on the ground in and around Mecca to secure the Hajj and assist pilgrims. And he says it could be as high as 2 million. Now, I gotta say, I do wish those who are there for truly spiritual reasons, and those Muslims who practice their faith with true peace in their heart, a wonderful Hajj. Those of you who are using this spiritual mission, spiritual gathering to talk about radical ideas, well, you ought to be bounced out of there. Well, what was that, Host Kitty? Well, there you go. There's Host Kitty's opinion, and I'll just go with that one, and he can handle it. And that was a hiss. For the record, Host Kitty hissed at the idea. I am all for religious gatherings, for truly religious purposes, by the people that truly want to be there. It's the radical lunatics that ruin it for everyone. Now, I've got to warn you, while I'm not ending on taps tonight, I am ending on something of a sad story. And I'm actually going to give you guys just a little bit of homework, but I don't think any of you will have a problem doing it. Turkey's foreign ministry says the country protests in the harshest way the U.S. court decision to indict 19 people. Now, who are these 19 people? Well, you may or may not remember when, a while back, several protesters were beaten up by Erdogan's security forces. And they were peacefully protesting on public property outside the Turkish embassy. They were on U.S. soil, because remember, the embassy is actually foreign soil. They were on U.S. soil, walking around, carrying signs, maybe doing a little chanting. That was it. And I do need to say something here. Yes, there are good lunatics, and, well, there are also radical, extremist, Islamist radicals. Those are the ones that just, quite frankly, need to on out of here. So, like I said, there are good lunatics. Hey, I affectionately call United States Navy SEALs the lunatics of the Navy. So, friends listening in the chat room, you're in good company. I promise. I just didn't have a better word on the tip of my tongue. And I will now. Let me go back to the security. The indictment of Erdogan's security forces. 15 of Erdogan's security forces have been indicted. Now, of course, these people are long out of here or have diplomatic immunity. And, well, we all know a grand jury can indict a ham sandwich. Although, don't ask me to eat one. Turkey has repeatedly told U.S. officials that security outside the ambassador's home was negligent and didn't ensure the safety of Erdogan's entourage. And that's why they attacked the sympathizers of an outlawed Kurdish militant group. First of all, I do not support the Kurds that run around Turkey blowing stuff up. The Kurds that are fighting shoulder to shoulder with our armed forces are a different group. Now, they are kind of kissing cousins, but the Kurds that are willing to lay down their lives to fight with the United States Armed Forces to their left and to their right, I'll say they're probably pretty decent people. The ones who are willing to run around setting off bombs, kind of like the IRA used to do back in Ireland, well, they may eventually get their point across, but how much blood will be lost in the process? There has got to be a better way. Now, I can't say that Erdogan's all that great either. You, I'm sure, recall, if you're a regular listener to this show, how many thousands of people he jailed after that coup attempt. I was reading not 5,000, not 1,000. I was reading 20 and 30,000 jailed at a pop. And that ain't gonna cut it, my friends. All right, I am rounding the corner to the top of the hour. And I must have done it right tonight. I have just two stories left. U.S.-led coalition fighting Daesh has carried out airstrikes to crater and disable those roads that Daesh fighters intend to use to evacuate the border between Syria and Lebanon. Now, why didn't I link this story with the other one? Well, I'm not that organized. And two, here's the deal. Somebody is claiming civilian casualties happened during this. If you're in this area, you are most likely a member of Hezbollah, Lebanese military, or Daesh. If you're Daesh, I'll drop a bomb on your head if I get half a chance. If you're Hezbollah, I'd do the same thing. Now, however, if you are Lebanese military, I will reluctantly, excuse me there, folks, Mr. Frog is trying to speak his piece. Give me just 1 second to grab a sip of water. Yes, I'm going to do that right on air. All right, so if you are Lebanese military, I will reluctantly give you the benefit of the doubt simply because you are wearing the uniform of your nation and you have taken an oath to protect and serve your nation. We may not agree. We may not see eye to eye. We may never sit down and break bread together, but I will give you the benefit of the doubt. Now, there are people claiming that there were civilian casualties, and not one or two, but there is a claim that there were a couple hundred in that area. What were civilians doing on the roads that Daesh was using to escape? Can anybody say Daesh in disguise? Daesh in disguise? Oh yeah. I'm willing to bet it. All right. I've got my last story, tissue alert. The Department of Defense today announced the identity of a soldier who's listed as duty status whereabouts unknown. The announcement resulted from an incident on the 25th of August in Yemen, where the soldier was supporting Operation Inherent resolve. Staff Sergeant Emil Rivera Lopez is listed as duty status whereabouts unknown, Dust 1, from the 25th August incident. The incident is under investigation. I warned you this last one was a little tug at the heart, even though it wasn't ended on taps. Now, you got homework. Yes, I'm handing out homework, so get over it. I want you to send up a good thought, a good prayer, well wishes for Staff Sergeant Emil Rivera Lopez. Whatever your preference is, be it a thought, a prayer, raise a beer to him. Because I believe if he's still with us, he will feel that support. And I'd like him to feel the support of as many men and women from the United States reaching out for him as possible. All right, folks, I am just about out of time. Now, as always, if you want to track me down, you can find me on Twitter at Jesse's POV. You can email me at the station at jessespov@klrnradio.com. And you can catch me here every night, Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And tonight, please stay tuned for the Stafford Voice. And on that note, friends, regulars, you know what's coming. New listeners, hang on for the ride.